Welcome to episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we are going to share the casting details of two upcoming reality shows while breaking down episode 2 of The Valley. I am joined by my guest here. Makenzie, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. As the Love is Blind kind of dwindles down in the dust, we have so many other reality shows jump starting over the next couple months. I mean, The Circle's coming back. Um, there was the Martha's Vineyard Summer House, I think season 2 that just started. I know Vanderpump Rules is still going on, and there's just so many other shows going on right now. So
Summer
it's
House. You
like
need to watch Summer House.
I know you keep telling, but there's like how many seasons? Like I got it mixed up because there's many puzzles of what's going on. But yeah,
There's so many. I think there's like six, maybe eight seasons of Summer House. I don't know. I'm starting at three. That's when Paige comes in, which if you know, you know, she's like the all-star of Summer House. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it, like more than I thought I would. But I'm trying to like binge it all before the big reunion because I have a feeling it's going to be explosive. It's already like a really crazy season. So adding it to the list for anyone that needs a recommendation. They're like feeling the like loss of, I don't know, there's like not a whole lot of Real Housewives going on right now. Bachelor's over. You're looking for something to fill the hole. Summer House is definitely a recommendation.
speaking of The Bachelor, I know the season just got over. However, they did announce who the new Bachelorette would be. And as somebody that does watch the show, I wanted to get some of your thoughts on Jen Tran being the new Bachelorette. What do you think of that decision? And are you excited for the upcoming Bachelorette season?
Excited would be a strong word. I will watch because I'm just like a glutton for all things like reality trash. So, and I've watched Bachelor, like I've been there, like through the good, the bad, the ugly. Like this season was such a redemption season. Joey was a phenomenal Bachelor. And I feel like it really showed through the ratings and the excitement that it generated on social media. But yeah, I will definitely be watching. Is for, Jen, congratulations. Like I am excited for her. I think she's very deserving. She's a beautiful girl. She seems to have a wonderful personality. We honestly didn't get to see much of it, which is kind of frustrating. I personally was really pulling for Maria. I think a lot of America just really, really, really wanted to see Maria. She's so spicy. She's so charismatic. I really wanted her. And I would have been happy with Daisy too. Like her exit was just phenomenal. The way in the finale, how she actually was the one to initiate things and kind of go on her own terms. I just thought it was an absolute phenomenal ending for her. And she walked away with so much dignity and grace. I would have loved to see that kind of usher her into her being the bachelorette. So like I had my two, like my number one and my number two, but Jen kind of feel like she came out of nowhere. Um, and I'm a little like frustrated because I just feel like if she was going to be the bachelorette, we should have gotten to see more of her on the season because I just feel like we didn't really get a whole lot of like context with how close her and Joey were, like how deep their relationship was. It just kind of seemed like they didn't know each other very well. She didn't even have like a hometown state. And I feel like that's really weird that like the Bachelorette's someone that didn't even make it into like the top four. But I heard it through like other podcasts that like some of those, people that maybe folks were thinking would more likely get it actually turned down the offer, which I can't imagine why. It, like seems like something you could clear your schedule for, but uh I don't know. But congratulations to Jen. I will be watching. I just do really wish it was Maria.
Oh, I'll be honest with you guys. It's been a while since I've dipped into the Bachelorette world, but I think I'm gonna dip my toes. I'm coming back. I'm going to come back strong, and I'm excited about it. I mean, what better way, honestly, just to dive head first into the next season of The Bachelor. But speaking of two new shows coming right around the corner, now obviously last year we saw House of Villains debut on E. It was an interesting show. Still not sure if I really loved it or not, but Tanisha beat out Johnny Bananas and Johnny Fairplay to win season one. But the House of Villains season two cast has been announced. If you don't know what the show is about, each week the villains compete in challenges to win power in the house. They vote each other out, and the last villain standing wins $200,000 and the coveted title of America's Ultimate Supervillain. This season's cast, we are going to have Camelia Poindexter from the Bad Girls Club, Jesse Gutierrez from Big Brother, Candy Muse from RuPaul's Drag Race, Larissa Lima from 90 Day Fiance, Richard Hatch from Survivor, Safari Samuels from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Teresa Giudice from The Real Housewives of New
Wait,
Jersey,
wait, wait. Sorry. I just have to stop you there because she's the queen. Teresa Giudice.
Giudice. Okay, my bad. Okay, and then Tiffany New York Pollard from House of Villains. She was actually in season one. Victoria Larson from The Bachelor, and then Wes Bergman from The Challenge. That's going to be the cast of season two. I do think it's going to premiere in the fall. I do know for a fact that this just filmed at the end of February, beginning of March. I know somebody that was supposed to be on the show, but they backed out in the last minute. But this cast thought, I know you said you didn't watch season one, but what are your initial thoughts on this cast?
I have to be honest, I don't know a lot of them. Really like I'm familiar with some of their shows, so I'll definitely be rooting for the ones that like I even like recognize the show, like RuPaul's Drag Race. Like I can already tell that I'm probably going to be rooting for that contestant. But the only one I really know is Teresa. So I will 100% be rooting for her all the way. But you probably know who more of them are. So who are you rooting for?
Yeah, so Wes Bergman is on the challenge. He's somebody that is my brother loves the challenge. I've watched a few seasons. I used to watch it like back in the day, when it was like the only reality TV show of existence, kind of. Wes Bergman, he's definitely a competitor. Jesse Gutierrez being on the show is definitely interesting. He's from Big Brother, but he's also like a professional wrestler as well. So him being on there, I can see a lot of clashing personalities. Richard Hatch, I remember watching that Survivor. You know what I mean? I know they're like 90 seasons in, but he like won the first Survivor, which is crazy to think how many there is. I didn't love the show. I'll probably give it another chance. I'm slightly underwhelmed by this cast, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's that great. And like if I'm thinking like super villains, I feel like you should probably dig a little bit deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I wouldn't, the only one I know is Teresa. And like, I wouldn't even call her a villain. Like, she's not even really a threat to anyone. I don't know. I just don't see it. It kind of seems like they're reaching on some of these.
I totally agree, 1000%. And another one where I think they're kind of maybe reaching on, but on Prime Video, we actually have a release date for this one on May 9th, the first three episode of the competition series called The Goat. It's going to be a settled debate of which reality TV star is the greatest of all time. Like I said, it's going to premiere on May 9th, new episodes streaming weekly through Thursday, June 27th. As above, 14 reality stars from popular franchises like The Bachelor, Survivor, RuPaul's Drag Race move into the quote unquote GOAT manor under the watchful eye of host Daniel Tosh. Compete in 20 challenges, earning and breaking one another's trust along the way. They're going to battle out for $200,000. We're just throwing out $200,000 like it's nothing on all these competition shows, apparently. And then, of course, you're giving out the title of greatest of all time instead of greatest villain. But let me go over some of this cast. We have Jill Zoren from The Real Housewives of New York City, Lauren Hamilton from Love is Blind, Jason Smith from Holiday Baking Championship, my boy Joey Sasso from The Circle and Perfect Match, Devon Rogers from Big Brother and The Challenge, Palo Mayfield from 90 Day Fiance, Justin Johnson and Alyssa Edwards from RuPaul's Drag Race, Tech Holmes from The Real World and The Challenge, Wendell Holland from Survivor, CJ Franco from F Boy Island, Rezo Farahan from Shahs of Sunset, Kristen Doute from Vanderpump Rules, Joey Amabile from The Bachelor and Dancing with the Stars, and then Tasha Adams from The Bachelor as well. Any thoughts on that initial run of cast there?
Um, who's Joey? We said Joey from The Bachelor. Joey, what's the
Hang on, Joey. Oh, Joey Sass. No, that was I said. Let's see here. Hang on. Joe Amabel.
Oh, wait. Oh, grocery store Joe. Okay. Okay. I forgot he had a last name. Cute. Cute. Okay, actually I did see that in the trailer. Okay, I don't know why it's just coming to me. I like this cast better than I like House of Villains. And I love villains, but I just don't think that those people are real villains. But I mean, we'll find that out more down the road, but I'm excited about this cast. I love the meshing of different shows and I feel like they got a pretty good collection of people that I know a lot more of these folks. Like Jill Zarin is an absolute legend for Real Housewives of New York, so she's just going to be a firecracker. And then we all know Kristen can get crazy, so that's going to be good. And Joe is just like an absolute sweetheart. So I don't know. I can see him being really competitive. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm excited too. I've heard some stuff about the show. I do know some behind the scenes details about the show. It's going to be interesting. I'll be intrigued how it all kind of plays out. I do think that it does play out along the same lines of like a House of Villains, where all it is it's going to be drama. You know what I mean? Like we're all competing, we're all trying to win money, we're all voting each other out, we're making alliances. I'll watch it. I 1000% agree that this cast is much stronger than the House of Villains one, but it's going to be on Amazon Prime Video slash Freevee. Like I said, starting May 9th. But let's talk about the real reason we're here. Episode 2 of The Valley. We definitely had an interesting first episode. If you did miss the last week's episode, we broke down the week episode, but we kind of knew what to expect in some manner heading into this episode. Our first kind of conversation that happens in this episode was the lunch, dinner, whatever it was, between Jax and Kristen. I would love to hear your initial thoughts of what went down in this lunch. And yeah,
I just thought it was just crazy. I can't tell if like they hate each other or love each other or if it's like one of those brother like they say like it's brotherly sisterly love, but it's not. Like they definitely have a past with each other that's romantic and like it just seems like a lot of built up like contempt for each other. So like I don't really see like the love there, but they say that there's something there, but it was just awkward to watch. Like first off, he takes her to a steakhouse when she's a vegetarian, which I think is just so Jax. And honestly, it looked like a Cracker Barrel. Like I don't know why he said it was so iconic. I guess that could be blasphemy. I need to like look it up. Apparently, it's an iconic spot, but uh and yeah, it I didn't get I just don't understand why he is so interested in what Kristen wants to do with her body, what she wants to do with like having a child. Like he talks about like having a kid out of wedlock, like he is even want to talk. I just think Jack's ever talking about morals or how things should be done is just like the most ironic and stupidest thing. Like, how is he one to talk?
it's crazy because like he just keeps harping on it, right? You know what I mean? And it's annoying. First off, I had a real problem that not only he talked up this like place that it was like the greatest steakhouse ever, and then orders a cheeseburger, but cheese and ketchup only. That really, I don't know what it was, but like it really bothered me. I don't know what it was. Like I said, I don't know what it, but he just his demeanor bothers
Child.
me. And she even says that too. I think she even called him out for that, which whatever. But he keeps on harping. He said he can spot a disaster a mile away. He's harping on it. She literally has said to him multiple times, Luke is her forever, period. If that's the case, if you are quote unquote friends like you say you are, because they remind us every 5 minutes, I feel like Jax has the need to let us know that they've been friends for 20 years or whatever it is. But it's like either there's a level of jealousy or there's a and there's even this weird level of protection, but it's like weird, you know what I mean? Like it's not a, I can understand that brotherly vibe if there wasn't the history of them sleeping together and all of that. You know, he has his own life, he has a wife, and uh he's a mediocre dad from what I can tell on the show so far. But we'll talk about that later too. But it's just weird how back and forth this is. And her allowance of it, I think, is really like, it's he just harp. And he was just like, you know, he brought up, you know, the potential of Luke being a sperm donor. It's like, dude, how are you crossing the line continuously over and over again about this same situation? And it's crazy that this was only scratching the surface of what he does in this episode.
Yeah. And like you kind of basically said it, like it's not coming from a place of love, it's not like advice, it's coming from a place of genuine care, like you would for a friend that you've known for most of your life. It just seems like it's coming from a place of wanting to like humiliate her or like just degrade her like relationship. And I mean, it sounds like he's like close friends with her ex, and like it just, I don't know, he doesn't have her best interest at heart, it's very clear, and it just seems like he's trying to make a public scene of it, like in the most Jax way possible.
Speaking of awkward, we had Jesse and Michelle, the couple that is just obviously we know is on the rocks here enough, but these two just, I mean, I you could get that vibe. First off, it's weird, you know what I mean? And I know he's said that videos, he's had a hard time adapting to becoming a father, which understandable. You still have to be one. But they both talked about, they kind of argue over their parenting styles. She literally sent him a video before they go out to take her daughter how to ride a bike, and he didn't even watch it at all. And then she's very soft spoken towards their child. He's very loud and rambunctious and just like demanding. You can see that, and I'm sure that's how their arguments go as well. I mean, we haven't really seen them yell at each other yet, but that entire scene really, to me, was very telling on Jesse. Just these two are completely out of it. Like that baby has changed their lives and not for the good.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad. You feel like they are breadcrumbing the demise of their relationship. Like it's every like I don't know what you call it, confessional where they're just by themselves on the couch. Jesse's basically just leading the audience to believe that like this is inevitable. Like he's not happy. He's not developing into the father that, you know, Michelle like deserves to have as a co-parent to their child, and like he just is missing the mark, and he doesn't really seem to have any interest in, you know, becoming that dad, becoming that person. And yeah, it's honestly really sad to watch. I mean, you're a father, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's hard. It really is, because I can understand the level of disconnect. Being a parent is very hard, but there's also a level of having to be aware. And there was one small moment, you might have caught it as well, but even when he brought up, and this was later in the episode, but when Jackson and all of them are playing street hockey together, Jesse brings up something about having fun playing hockey or needing another person. And Michelle had the look on her face of like, you're out here doing all of these other things, yet you're not kind of at home thing. And obviously, I'm probably reading in between the lines, maybe, but how she reacted to that moment, you could tell that there's this level of disappearance from him of trying to do anything but be at home. And sure, that might play a lot into their relationship, but it was kind of frustrating and infuriating to kind of watch go on between these two. So I didn't love it at all.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable to watch them together, and I have a feeling that'll probably only increase over, the next several episodes or throughout the season. But yeah, justice for Michelle. She deserves to have an equal partner that's not just going to, not only not really pitch in the way that needs to, but doesn't really seem to respect her parenting style either, or like the relationship that she has with their daughter. I don't know, it just seems like he um like poo-poos it and like talks about how like he's barely even involved and their daughter's obsessed with him, and like I don't know, that doesn't feel good. So I just have a lot of sympathy for Michelle right now.
Yeah,
But girl
totally.
went hot with that bottle of tequila on girls' night, and I was like,
Yes.
girl, you deserve it.
Every ounce of it, because it was weird, because like man, I'll tell you what, there's another scene that I absolutely hate in this episode, and it was just like a quick glimpse of Jackson and back home, but his one of their kids was crying hysterically. I guess it got underneath the couch or whatever, and he was just sitting there saying, like, waiting for somebody to do something that was not him. Like seeing moments like, it's just so, I'm sorry if your kid is like crying, like that kid was crying loud, if you're not going to get up and see what the hell happened, like he was just expecting. I think it was it Jack's, no, it was Brittany's mom, I think, that was there. Yes, Brittany's mom that was there, that actually went and checked on whatever their kid was screaming and yelling at that moment. um let's see here. What else do we have here? Jax wanted a guys night out, which I feel like, is that all they like, that's all they do, because he said
I
earlier
feel
in
like
the
that's
episode.
what's yeah, that's what this is going to be, which I wonder how long it'll. Right now it's exciting and fun and
Yep.
we're getting to know the characters, and I feel like there's a lot of it's cool for now, but like I have a feeling it's just going to be like guys night, girls night, couples like dinner party, like pool party, hangouts. Like it's just going to be like this group of friends that like I'm not even sure how much they're actually friends. Just get together and Jax will be stirring up the drama and there'll be bickering and fights and blowouts, and I'm definitely like here for the drama for sure, but I do wonder like yeah, how many guys nights and girls nights we can take.
Yeah, because Jax was all like, "Your life is over as soon as you have a baby. Oh, let's have a guys' night." Like it was like, and then at the same time, I was like, "Have a girls' night." Let's talk about this. We had a big issue, and I'd love to hear this. We're both married here. I would love to hear your initial thoughts on Jax wanting to invite an ex of Brittany, or not Brittany's, of Kristen's, to boys' night because they're friends, even though Kristen's new boyfriend is here. And they're serious. They're talking about having babies into the fold. What was going through your head as you're watching that scene?
I mean, the fact that Jesse was the one, I think he called it like the most childish thing he's ever heard. The fact that Jesse's saying that should be like all we need to know. Like it was not one person thought that was a good idea. It's so disrespectful. There was no like fuck Brittany like saying that there was like good intent, and like Jack saying that it was all like in good intent. Like I had a good motivations. No, you didn't. Like I feel like Jax is just wanting his producing credits for this show and is just trying to keep it spicy in any way that he can. And he's not looking out for Kristen. He's not like being respectful in any way to Luke. Like he obviously doesn't like Luke very much and wanted him to feel uncomfortable is how I feel about that.
Yeah,
How do you
100%. Like there's no reason. And even whenever, and you don't even have a conversation with him about it. He's like mid conversation as Luke appear, or, I mean, as Alex appears. Like that was like, he's like, "Oh, well, let me pull him aside." What, after you've had a few drinks, you thought there was "Oh man, I'm just gonna relax. Luke's gonna be cool with him just randomly appearing here." And then Brittany defending her, like defending the idea of it. Well, he's friends with him. No, like that entire thing was just absolutely blown out of like proportion. As we see, it's going to be drawn out into the next episode because we saw a little bit of clips of next week. But it's like, how in anybody on planet Earth did anybody think that would be okay for him to invite somebody? And then obviously, like Luke, I felt like was being the more professional person. It's like, I'm just not going to talk to him. And there's nothing, and like Jax was pissed because of that.
Yeah, no, Jax was being childish and like it was classic Brittany, like just taking up for Jax just because like she's been making excuses for him since day one. And it's like very obvious to see like the I don't know how anyone could defend that. So her even trying, like I actually am on Kristen's side, and I just think that there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think that there was any ands, ifs, or buts about it. And the other thing I did is like there was one moment Jesse's like, "This is the dumbest idea," and then Luke confronts Jesse about the nipple
Titty
grab,
twister.
the titty twister. Yeah, the titty twister. And Jesse's like, "Oh, I don't remember that at all." And it like that was I loved Luke in this moment. He was like, you know what? And I appreciated that. I'm gonna rip the band-aid off. We're gonna talk about this like men, and then we're gonna go have a good night.
Yeah. See, Luke's too normal for this show. Like
Very much so.
I worry for him. Like he's just too rational, too normal. He just wants to sit there and sip his whiskey and like, collect his paycheck for this show and try to get along with these guys as well as possible. But I just fear for him in all of this. But it was good to see him defend Kristen's honor. And but I do, that was something I thought was just hilarious how much time was spent discussing this titty twister.
Yeah, it's this episode again kind of follows you. Like, the first episode we have, the pantsing, the baby. This episode we have the titty twister baby drama. And it seems like this is gonna leak into X/ whatever drama into the next episode.
It just gets more and more childish from the sounds of it. It's hilarious.
It really is. All right, so give us your overall thoughts on episode two. And I mean, you talked about, you're invested, but did your investment change into the episode? What do you think as we head into episode three, especially with that little bit of a cliffhanger there?
Yeah, no, I am definitely like begrudgingly very invested. And, especially as I start to get to know the characters more, like I mentioned to know your favorites. Me personally, like I'm starting to like grow a fondness towards Naya. I think that's her name. I just think that she's adorable, and like learning that she's like a black belt and she's just like killing it within the mom game, and like she's absolutely stunning. And I don't know, like I'm just like finding myself like really drawn to her story and rooting for her. So I am starting to like the characters a little bit more, and which subsequently means that I will be tuning in no matter what. And but I am saying, yeah, I can see myself like increasingly becoming more invested in how things are playing out in these people's lives. But how
Yeah,
about you? Who's your
yeah.
favorite people?
I agree with you. Naya, I wish we got more of her. You know what I mean? I wish we got more of her character because I felt like it was really cool seeing the whole black behind the scenes, the black belt thing. I'm really interested. Zach had me laughing at the girls' night. He's like, "This is the only time I've ever not wanted to be. I wanted to be at guys' night out." It was hilarious. Like you said with Naya, Zach. But Jason is I'm on the fence, right? I'm on the fence with Jason and Janet. I feel like they're in the mix here. I have no care in the world for Jax or Brittany. But I can't stop watching Jax because everything he says just pisses you off. He knows what he has, I feel like, and I think you're right when you say he's looking for that producer credit because you feel like he's just dictating the drama that is ahead for each episode because he starts the fire and then he just kind of backs up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I am only watching them for entertainment purposes. I do not like Jax. I do not agree with him on a moral, like anything level. I think Brittany is so sweet and great, but like she defends him and hides his bad behavior and all the time. And I get it. It's one thing like sticking up for your spouse, but it's just like I don't know. It's hard to have respect for someone you know, it's hard to have respect for someone that like you see being disrespected by their husband.
Yeah, it's really exhausting watching him just you're right, because there's one level of you're always going to defend the person that you love and you spend, but at the same time, I just don't feel like he's just not a very good person. And he sets her up, I guess you could say even he sets her up for failure in some aspects of things because she's caught defending him when maybe she shouldn't be because of that level of, hey, that's my husband, we're sticking together type of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's sad. It's sad, but at the same time, it's must watch. I'm intrigued. Obviously, with the next episode, we see Zach kind of like, I never. He just screams out, "I never said that." So the women's side of the party looks like it's going to get as heated as the men's side thought we were going to, maybe even more. Any thoughts on what you saw about the upcoming episode?
I'm excited to see what it's all about. I feel like Zach is going to be one of my favorites. Like he just seems hilarious. Like if I could pick like which one of the cast members that I resonate most with, I would probably say Zach. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. When you're watching him at that party and he's just the whispering thing, like the conversation, just like I just, because you're in one way you're like, I want to be here because I'm like involved and you get to see all this tea, but at the same time, there's so much drama that really, if Zach's at the other one, there's just as much drama going on over here as there is over here. You know what I mean? So, and then how does that? I would assume we get to see Luke and Alex are going to have to come to face, right? They're going to have to.
I mean, maybe. I just don't think Luke has much to say with him. I don't know. I think that some of these like, teases are a little bit like just doing what Bravo does, where they kind of like breadcrumb you in, and then like it can be a little bit anticlimactic during the actual episode. But we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to be anything that crazy. I'm definitely more interested in like how Girls Night took such a bad turn. So I will definitely be tuning in next week.
Yeah, definitely me too. I'm very excited about it. There's some stuff coming up around the corner, some other shows coming, and we'll be talking about whatever we're watching at that time. But make sure we'll be back same time next week. We appreciate you guys tuning into the Love and Reality podcast, and we'll talk to you guys next week.